Okay. Gonna cheese away. Hati Aadé. Gwall hati Tlingit. Cheese. Yeah, away gwall hati wasagu just jinkat aya we you tunk. Ich wasagu wasagach to sa sentence ko aye so kach wasagu. Just jinkat ko Kashakawa Jaysi at the Achtu wasagu ko ahi. Ich edach. Gwall yan you ni aya. Aka away. Yeah, achtu wasagu. Yuqatan. Hakata achet away achtu wasagu kunchish. Katu achet. Kel hakatu achet. Atisa di tu wasagu kaw ako ko ashke.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Yiin Ḳunaax adat Kaduneek Nuks. Yiin Ḳunaax Daak Ḳunaax. Gunachis Kakatlat. Florence Mark Shakely eat Wooneiyí. Ţuqanach Kashikit Ayahayi ya Kawat Kaduneek Tlingit Ḳunaax Gagan Tu
Beautiful.
Ḳunaax in where Kaduneek Agasa where Kayani ka where I was he Hudakye Kwasane. What I Huni Kachu I Kana I de Gokdashi. Where Clerk yet I hinten say a hoot katfletcha a hini where Clerk hoot Itai de flit where a kidi left garbage disposal today a Tlingit like Aga aware at Tlingit Clerk kahini le shukwa a hook yesuna u aga Tlingit winnets nach Tlingit Stuch dach the in where what Jin kwachitin Ḳunaax yawat aya in kisha today yanascha with Clerk kahini Jin ka winnets nach Tlingit where in kisha Kiswas kawut kuahayi I hunk iyan pastujit sa in. Good job.
Gonna cheese.
Cheers.
Let's see.
Yeah, away. Okay. Aadé gonna cheese Hawaii. Ḳunaax wuke. Aadé kaishahidi. Well, Aadé at kutzati way. Desktop kach. Yeah, away ja achtu wasagui sitini yata. Well, PowerPoint you do a sago at. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, file. Kusa. It's like PowerPoint there. What? Kashuk yahawe. Kashuk takai. Wave. MacBook Pro. What MacBook Air. Chawasa. Yeah, we preferences you do a saga at preferences 10 we proofing what you do a saga at yeah you did a spelling so yeah do tell it to us good check spelling as you type a yachati kakkoshahit the cut with Tlingit you khatangi Kazawas go Tlingit ko yeah, ach to us is cool. Iti Ḳunaax away Tlakudzi Ktangik Ashre Ka Aadé. Is a two we take that yeju to nayin. Johan Pectin again, Anaya yeju wene, you take that. Ach shed kested to Ashko, just Ḳunaax away. Guchla Ugo with the cutway. Take.
Cut say what cut.
Pectin Tlach to Ashko and Kanins.
Cut say what.
Okay. Goodness cheese. Yeah, you did koa adusa the towasaku. Hawakshi ye haze ne yejne. Cook.
All right. Oh, where is it? Here it is. And I welcome corrections. I'm sure some of these concepts were pretty darn hard to say in Tlingit Ḥunaax. Haket. Haket kashhit hashayech. Ahe akayi ka kashachasha dech haket shuka kadech haket dich hachash. I don't know if that's the right way to say front and back. Haket shuka wush kech al chakes chakes haket dich wush kech ash chakes. Aga awe haket shuka ka haket dich wush chakes. Achke awayish. Really not sure about that at all. Na. Ahe chakes. Aya shuch kahisi. Ahe chakes. Yatich yadi Aadé huachut. Hakes ye nai u. Hakes itinach yati age. Comment kesh hich. Kesh heat. Hish heat. There we go. That's it. So it was really hard to figure out how to say turn the fabric inside out.
Oh,
Because you sew it the right side to right side, and then you pull it out through one side and make it inside out, which is really inside out.
Huh. Well, we'll have to ask around. Ganach would be the outside. Dayun would be the side that touches the skin. So that's dayun adi is underwear or undergarments.
Okay.
So you might say Daak asa dayun itawasakugan ach awe yidat aqawe adati jiqine. So whatever is on the inside, you want on the outside. And so but that's some stuff I'll check. I'll see if maybe Bessie would be a fun one to ask about that. I'll see if she's up for doing some just minor consulting and stuff. But yeah, Inside Out is one that I don't know if any of you have heard anything. You know, I just know that's the outside. And so then I was thinking about like the facing. So ganach could be the outside of the clothing, I think, especially as we specify. Because it would say and so they were teaching us how to talk about which way the shoes go for the kids. And so then there's other things like dakan and dayin. So like dakan would be facing away and dayin would be facing towards. So there are some things you might be able to do there. And then yach would be to flip something over. And then whenever you have those, I think like a ye nasne is just just like the do it thing. So then you could say, wait, dak asa dayun ganach, maybe, but I'll check out ganach ye nasne. That could be it. But that's a really complicated concept. That's a really good question.
It seemed to me like it would have been used, you know, if you're like skinning a seal or something like that and you're pulling the fur from the outside. But if you're sewing something, it would be very common to do that.
Yeah, moccasins, everything.
Yeah. And so I'm sure there was a way to speak about it, but I could not find it in the dictionary. So.
Okay. Okay.
And pulling the string through, it's like, am I using the right pulling verb?
Yeah, the yish would be really good. Yik would be if you got to pull it hard.
No, hopefully not.
I don't know, you're probably not doing it right if you got to yik it. You probably got way too many stitches or something. I don't know. Okay. We will consult the experts, but yeah, if you've got any big questions, we'll try for those. But I would enjoy seeing these just so I could take a closer look at them and give some specific feedback later, if y'all don't mind. And we'll look for Inside Out. I'll see if I can find it somewhere. It's cheesh. Okay.
Pull it inside out. Yeah.
Okay. Kate aya atina khayati takatuhan ya idat akhu akashasti twa ushko wan qanins aya hasti yuqatangi khwa akh kashach twa ushko qatlatina khatuti kashaitu dishi at aya akhu وهان يا هيتكي قا خطخا أخشتها تواسكو كوشخا خودي أيا قختو آتي كلها توا أشكو ونيكو يا جاكو قاكو هستو جيتو توتي كلها توا أشكو قتو سنيكو أجوي وأدخت الشيخ نيك يا يدت قوة ديسا دو تواسكو وكاوا آقو
Just figure out how to screen share.
Fun.
What do I do here? How do I? Is there a screen share button here somewhere? Or?
Towards the bottom should be green.
Oh, okay. You can choose. Let me see.
If you're Daak Kayani Yachyati at Et Hakoasu Yachyati at.
Sorry, I just don't know how to get this document. I'm clicking on it, but it's not showing up here.
Oh.
Is it open on your desktop? If you open it on your desktop, usually when you push share screen, you can see everything that's on your desktop, and then you can just click on it.
No, it's not on my desktop, but
So if you open it.
let me click on that. Can you sit in gig? Ye Aadé Ţunaax Daak Kaduneek Massachachtli ye Daaduneiyí. Wooneiyís kanata kayaniach yeti kaniach yeti has kawatayi. Chudech has yeke. Adach kak islatats kayet klein kade. We kanas Aadé katsich kgislatlit. Den kak us we kayet. Usa in Kogisa in Kayet we Haktli. Chak Kajenach ye Daadune Man Kashi Ayidat mixer Kach Ḳunaax ye ak Kiksane wehin chaye genk agawe kak gitlahak tle Ḳunaax ye ak Kiksane we shuga waf tlek guka hakli kejin shaf shuga we hakli has agusha hils kadleit yachas gugati. Aga awe kek gidenup keni tle ha huch awe.
Yet echa.
So one I used that kagisa ein kayet yakawe wechakli, but I wasn't sure. Put the berries in the bowl is what I was trying to say. Is that the right verb, or would it be? I wasn't sure about that verb at all.
Yeah. So that would usually be like you're gonna carry it or something.
Yeah.
That's what I would be thinking of. So there's kasacha would be a pretty good one, or kakkisacha, which would be you're gonna pour it into there. So the pouring.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can always just throw a yenasne in there as well. Like you're literally saying, do it into the thing, and then people will know what you're saying.
Right.
Asachaz is what I'd usually hear.
Yeah. Okay. I just point out one other thing that I thought was interesting. Up top. So I watched this video of Kayishi and a long time ago with some elder in Teslin making soap berries. And the word she used for the green berries was Wooneiyís kanata. Even though they're soap berries, it was kanata was the word she used it. So, anyway. Yeah. Okay, now how do I get out of here? Sorry. Can you take, oh, let me see. Okay, I see. So,
Sheesh. Yeah, kanata, it's interesting. That comes from a verb, which is to be ripe. So you would expect yakanatain if it's getting ripe. And so, but there's, just as far as like how that works, I've also heard them say, akawata owewe kanata. The berries, the blueberries were ripe there. So, but yeah, just to say yeast kanata, that's really interesting. Or maybe she's kind of comparing it to what an unripe blueberry, or it's just ripe, or maybe if you're just going to say yeast.
well, these are the green soapberries she's talking about, right? Yeast kanata. And she's saying the red ones are ripe, but these are yeast kanata.
Huh, wow. Okay. Sheesh. Okay, Kakli achtuasago chachai that yeah dakka yeah dachte owen na kuchin yeah yidet ko we COVID qazati atwe kinji chon ko u tlas to oshko we washdan kon has to khude aya wutu ati kodach house aya the cutway COVID teen. Yeah, awe ko awan kanin stakka aya wutu ko hajit wudutse in nuch we kokli we it tu ye wuti in kisha tsu yudu sago atka it chgukai kledihin ko akat khatse o akatu sa akjita wati ako gwashwe chinukzihin on awe has aus in we aus we in ishatu aka awe yanu ne klesetina khat uti we senuksi leo aka kakhsai yanu ne je we khayit aka de kakhsha aka we kitchene da ritu de shikonakh we aka yanu ne klestasa etina khat uti yeke awe we utzaka aka ai ach yes tutliech kan chish adu sa yidet kha
Gwellhed
oh
scoop chakli dot Yesitinga Aadé Kaduneek chaglia we chakli Ţukánax chakli kesain a itch kakli ut we chakli a itch at kakli gut kayetka Tle wuchu jakli ha hintin we chakli a itch at kakla chak atin a itch Dleit jachte at kakla chak Tlawush chujaki ha we Tlingit Tleotin. Waye kunayatsoe kakilachak tle idio de chwetl. Tle yan kailachag at gachtucha. Huge.
okay goodness sheesh yeah dakka u awe khosatin wait the kak well wait that's a kutzati koksa Tuach tuasagui satini. Yak oe. We keynote you do a sago at we Steve Jobs ai oe. Ka yatatsu. Tishugo at keynote. Preferences. Wash. Yak auto correction you do a sago at. Ya. Kuxayeti. What's like? Isikuge guxa. Keshach tuash guchasatini. What's keshyat? Oh, queshyat. Edit. Spelling, grammar. Check spelling while typing. Keshi tuash gu. Chanyacheti at the katyech. Ukecha. Zuk we chakliach tuasagu. When chish. Itu dachaya achit yan uwaha. Atu say datra.
Gwallchat.
Oh, can it's chish.
Aadé sacht kabudi kagisla yechiye. Sacht kawut. Shukwanach sacht itinachi gugati. Deyadain mankas de shudain kegari te kushe. Prince Rupert Dane Su. Deya de shu. Shukwanach we sacht we do you yantu sakach gunalchish. Uhan aya uhan gunalchish ha it in dashiyi gunalchish. Chatlak we kawut mankas kanch we sacht kden gagethlagach. At sati at we sacht. Acht llachki ye gagithla tsak. We shin ye gagithla tsak tsu. I got away with shin guga hook. Klek dishu with he kushe. Jans guga hook. Adachawe kawut ach kaki chash it chashayitin. I got away with kawut kaki chak igal to slitayitin. I kawudi kden kaki chas agatsa kawut katleyek koti. Tsatgu yega I kawudi kaki tush. Kedem kaki tush I tushlayitin. Chaye gugenk I we wush. Chaye su kawut I jibu. We kawut tak kak gesla ish. Hwe set I jibu yida. Dewe.
Okay, can chish ha. It's acht oi nach satit so. Ḳunaax litzini at. Yeah, what is so cool? Klesli toa ushko, we shushik at. I hiti yi de ayakakwa at. Kakwa good. Aka away with acht. We kahat a kidna away. Ye away to us a goo. A kahaye is ne. One kanins away. Wuhan ha hiti yi. To would the tune awa. Yetki has would the tune. Ya Daak has was skit show. Ya chor tu chochat ewoos. We yan mat. Achtige. We hat a kaye ti I hit yi. Het verkleik. Met achte tienig ti. We gauw. De kat we gehati a kach. Ja ganach gande gehati away. It was a go. Met acht a kaye ti. Ye away. We jadasa. Gwash hiti yite kukwakuti at. Acht ta yite kukwakut. Wasa shitzin away we nak. Shishik at. Ketli hiti yite kukwakut. Ye away ach gilchi shuhan wukecha. We daklik atsu. Gwash ketli twashko adaye wuti. Ye talk iti away. Ach tu was a great shaya way. Acht. Aka away. Yende yeka kasene. Stakatach jishaguni. Acht ka jishaguni. Yata tinach khatyati we kayani. We kasha khashat kleinach yati. Aka away we klita ka. Etsach. Konachik away kuwakan du gusahi. Juya Tesla tunach aya kukqaqich we acht daklakatsi. Aka away aka kukwashi. Tutat away achtuasako aka kukwashi. We nadayihin wan qanins. It's acht akina aya kina ini. Kunachlatsini Yewa aka kukwashi weta. Ka we shukwa in yukakwatan. We acht kwani gulchi shaiti de shi hanakuch owewa hanakuch is a tea tako da khoe tusaku a joy yuhan ayakak kwahash ya ha tu na kusak aya aka kanch kain hasujit khati Chayeku genki yata adach akachakuta tsachta kakwashi. Ye oe gwash khatcha gwash take kakus achaya kakwahash. One qanins gwash khatu wasaku we tsacht khati takhonachlatzin. Just one qanins koa the kat ya kayani ayakakijak. Gwash achaya achki yahai away we khat. Yakakal chish. Sukka.
Oh, Kaduneek. Xuach ach tuas a goich. Eslach kushaske I katangi.
Ach was a gunuch. Ach was gwich. Takoe ach was gwich. Acho ye has in the cage koa. Ach was a gunuch. Tadachas.
Gilchish.
Yaktat awe cho achoa. We achque. Edach aya ach was a gwich. Du dat chansu de edach aya cho achwan kanins. Gilchish. Gosses yan Wooneiyí ai heswasa uti ya kekegi zu wush Xuanach gachtu da Kachtin in geuni.
Ah,
Okay.
Yauk yadi, yauk sit, katuch auk. Jishaguni jis, kai, kachakwa, klastaya, tia, adakia, adak kayecha sita, kuta, kuchida, nachash yauk, yachauk, teichka, teich ka ashu away, teich ka chus, touch islikauch, ka yahai kashachit, chia, Hesklasiku 20.5 inches. Chikin Shei Kastan, or the top of the wood. Chuta Wanak Kasach Kachas Chutach away Chwachash Tesh Wanakash Chis Nachash Chisi Chiatsu Nachash Chisi Nachash Tak Pooch.
Ganil cheesh. Yeah, wa hatuasagu. Yeah. Quash anaya udutli at chaco kako yach hatuasagu hayuk atangitin. Yeah, wa hosaku. Waitia ka teka enach scoop chisel you do a sako at kachakwa. Akawe achtuasagu achis tia. Quash you do a sako at way tlekach enach v chisel. At your way heats yach ya ya ach yach do a teen. Yeah, away at that you took the tan. Echa, ganil cheesh.
Gonna teach. Also a slick. It's got like a weird oblong angle. I don't know that there's really a word for a slick chisel because it is like a sita, but it's got like a broad angle, like a swoop.
Is it bent?
Yeah, it's the one in that I had in there next to the chisel. But it's like it's just long and flat and extends out, and it's got a blade on both sides of it, so you can flip it over one way or the other. But it's great for that kind of work too. Also inside, outside.
Okay. Maybe send me a picture. Think about Yucatan tea, yeah. It kind of depends. If tea is the verb for like making it's a chiseling with a straight chisel. So kayech is the verb for planing something. So it depends if it's planing. If it ends up scooping, then it might lean towards chak.
Kind of like a planer because it's something you can get right on the bow where the angle comes in and then swoops out to the front of the yauk. You can get right on that swoop, nice with a slick, or even on the inside.
Maybe a bent planer.
Yeah.
Yucatan Calleja would work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and the rest I'm still trying to work on it, but.
Okay. Goodness cheese. Suk ke Johan? You can always pick them up on Monday too. Oh, you can cheese.
Aadé gaat nou tlachchi at je hai kishachit. Do in Ḳunaax Daak conducting way batonk. Yungay Wooneiyí.
Yeah, what?
Daak yaka iwu yi latsu we ishi jin. Daak yaka iya yi latsu we ijin. Kuch yaka iwu yi latsu we ijin at agwal tleich awe. Daak agut ichik yi latsu we ijin at agwal deich awe. We ijin kuch daak yi latsu we ichik at agwal natsk awe. Daak ya yi latsu we ijin at agwal daak awe. Huchiga?
Yeah, When it's cheese, we atlach cheats ate. Gosh. Yeah, we got to say conductor. We good conductor ko steam cards ate. Yeah, when it's cheese, we getting case hit you katangi. Okay. Yeah, you did quite suck, yeah, opens cheese. Aadé shu aqida age ye. Shanachwaye gan kakaste. Shanachwaye itina iti. Gan kakast itu. Gan ye kila ut kakasti sa. An ye na yet westu tuk. I it would she shu adi age we an ye na yach westu tuk. I it would she shu adi age we gan kast to itinach iti. Gan hook ideshe. Gan kakaste ka stuk tuch ageti. Tlech gan wedu. Idain at akawa gan. Ihidi akisat Yesu seganin we ke guch set a guch away. Okay, gun sheesh. Daak kan sawe yi tuwa sagu Johan. What ye hit yi away kausagani. She Shach Chai Duk. Dakosa ayanach yake. Just chadasa ke. She yake. Gun sheesh. Chain Daak Ḳunaax Kaduneek. Ukecha. Uke it's the cut Johan ye jene. Ach tu kleke kach. Zuke ya dat. Got chakot dat.
Ķunaax.
Oh, gun sheesh.
Chatsu tlachwasaku screen sharing. So Ķunaax. So first of all, I'll just play this little short video. It's 28 seconds long, and then I'll have to share my sentences. Yak ege.
Okay.
Okay, the next one. Aadé Tlingit. Ach dat schand awe at shiguk. Sit awishguk wugudi Yesu koa. Masawe at with gune. At shich wisi ach agawe gune at Du jin ashi kam sien. Du sha at awa gik. Aya kawanuts ka jin talk woody touch. Du us akawa hook. Du da idi wuti gek. Atwu shuk. Tlishku has sagu ye studenuk. Tlach masa wutusachan. We ye sigenki a atlechi. Hoocha. Stop share.
Okay, gun sheesh. Uskawe detchan. Ya achtu yake utusatini. Kaadat yuchakachtusha ati. Yewe khwasaku what akha we khashish qonaqti tawasaku. Ya hasti detchan kiyan hasaltini. Aqa hasti inyuq ewatani. Tlingit Ḳunaax. Yewe wasahatu yake. Hasbutusatini. Ka Aadé ke hasu wati ya hain ya tlach kashlasa ayanach uke kunchish ukecha. Ya idat ko ta sa Johan sukke kuchakutigi witsuk. Was perfective gawu aya ya idat gaut kaudikit adati jikachtune. Goodness cheese. Tlach Ḳunaax uke. So if you haven't had a chance to share yet, you can go on Monday. We'll sort of keep this going. It's very fun. If you can show your sentences while we're going through them, it does help us all just to be able to read along with you. I think we're simultaneous listeners and readers. And I really appreciate the effort y'all are putting into an exercise like this. We'll try and think of what the next thing will be. But I want to get us back into the perfective, and then we'll kick up the yesh kakan as well. If it feels like if we get through this, we're in the predictive phase now for verbs with a dramatic. Unless anybody has a thought or a question.
I have a quick question. I got the 10 sentences for the other class confused with the instructions for the 10 sentences for this class. So can I expand? I don't want to do the same one for both classes. Can I expand on the other one and then add because the other one was just verbal with the.
Yeah, I think the other one was just like put 4 sentences together or something like that, right? So yeah.
4 sentences. Yeah, I would just, maybe I got them confused. I think the other one required sentences, but this one requires instruction.
Right. This one was like 10 sentences that tell us how to do something. Yeah. And the other class was just like 4 sentences to connect somehow. So.
Oh, okay.
Either way, because you could do your 10 here if you want to, but if you feel like they're not really like instructions on how to do something, then you could just pick 4 and share them with the other class. It's totally up to you.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll expand on the other ones.
Okay.
For next class. That's okay.
Okay. Good sheesh. Okay. So we had a week-long break where we weren't predicting perfectives. So I thought maybe we'd jump back into it here. So when we add now we've added the thematic prefix. So that's gonna adjust things a little bit. So just sort of thinking about that as we go through. Just as a reminder, what kinds of things when we see a theme and we want to know how to put the perfective together, we look on here. These both have objects. So now we should expect a yawa and a yawa because there's now these ya, they're both ya. As far as the thematic goes, they're both 0. So that should be ya all the way down, even the 4th person. But what about the stem? How am I going to predict that?
Long and low, Gwasya?
Yes, so the first one is closed and non-zero. So it's na, so that means this one should be long and low. What about the bottom one?
Doesn't that stay long and high?
Well, it's a 0 and closed, so it will be short.
Oh.
All closed zeros as a perfective will be short and high. Okay. So now we're gonna succeed. So how would I say and so this, and it's when you use this verb, this could mean succeeded. It could mean obtained something. Like I was trying to get I got the trophy. I was trying to get I was trying to go get like some food or something and I got it. Or it could mean to defeat someone. So, you know, if as I was playing board games with my son, I'd say, whoops, I just told you the second person. But so keep that in mind. But now to say, and so for this, we'll just say succeeded, right? We'll just say succeed. I succeeded. What do you think?
Is it yach?
Yes, it would be yachwadlak. So the is only going to pop up in the third person. But yes, so yachwadlach, yeah. We succeeded.
Yautuwadlach.
Yautuwadlach, yeah. You succeeded.
Yidlach.
Yidlach, yeah. So yia, and so this is going to be kia, 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 right? Y'all succeeded.
Yayinglach.
Yeah, ya yinglach. Or if you're on the coast, ya yidlach. Okay. They, singular, succeeded.
Ayawadlach.
Ayawadlach. Yeah, ayawadlach. They succeeded. We should get the days very fast. They succeeded.
Ayawadlach.
Well,
Ayawadlach.
Hasayawadlach. And so one of the things, sometimes you folks are going to see this hus become just the letter S. The general rule for that is if it's preceded by a verb, it will sometimes just change. So you could say Aadé sayawat, the way that they succeeded.
So when you see that S by itself in like a sentence, is that it's kind of like a third person plural?
No. Yeah, it's usually the plural marker. There is another one which is like like on its own. So like you might hear people say wasasiyati, and so there's that little S stuck in there, and so it's sort of just really kind of softens the question, kind of. So it's sort of like maybe say how you are, that kind of thing. People succeeded. So one of the good guidelines, whatever the first person plural is, if you change that to a D, that's probably what it's going to be. Except when the classifier needs to change, because you can't duda or dusa or dusha or dusha.
Is it Auyadlach? No.
Yao, we're going to have the d in there. So t changes to d. And we get
Yautuwadlach.
Yautuwadlach. Yeah, and we'll just keep in mind, even if we're just given a good guess, control your tone, right? I'm not picking on anybody, but sometimes you might say Yautuwadlach, right? Because you're trying to guess. Just go for it, and then we'll fix it if we need to. Okay. So here's the answer key. All of these will be the same prefix. The only thing that will change in this case is the step, is the root. So if we change all these tlaq to kitch, then we've got them all. So I sharpened it. Yeah, know this one, you're gonna have dull knives. One time I got this hunting knife. I was so happy that I had this hunting knife. I like it. And my uncle was like, who's got a knife? And I gave it to him, and he touched it. He's like, duller than a teaspoon. So, gotta know this verb.
Yahweh.
So see, the prefix is exactly the same. Exactly. It's going to go all the way down. Now that you've got the qitl on there, look over here. And then this is where you sort of learn how to really spot where the root is. Because then that's where you'll replace that root. Building perfectives is all, well, building any verbs. It's all about getting that prefix. And once you've got that prefix pattern, now you can just learn how to put these different stems on there. And so what you're going to see is there's the zero group, then there's everything else, because all the others, they'll operate the same. It's just that one consonant's going to change.
So it'd be Yautuaqit.
Yautuaqit. You sharpened it.
Yiqit.
Yiqit. Y'all sharpened it.
Yayiqit.
Okay, yayiqit. Sheesh. She or they, singular, sharpened it.
Yawagit.
Yeah, away. They sharpened it.
Hasayawagit.
Yeah, away. They said they sharpened it. Yes, yawaqa. Hasayawaqit. It was sharpened. People sharpened it.
Yauduagit.
Yeah, away. Yauduagit. Okay. Yautuatlaqaya. Yashukwa itcha we di a kakaya achtuasaguyag. Ya. Tu. Object kettuste. Yatekoa. De. The cut at. What about the stem? Oh, so there's no objects here. You should be getting yaude and has yaude. Okay. What's the stem going to be?
Short and high.
Short and high. Nuck, all the way down. What about the second one?
Long and low.
Yeah. Well, it's closed. This one's closed. And a zero. Closed, zero, short and high every time. Closed, everything else. Na, ka, long and low. Okay. So we should have us. Pouting all the way down. Okay. So this one is going to look a little different than the last one. But instead of, so all those, the ya things are going to turn into di. So that's going to change the shape. So how do you think? I baited the hook.
Yachtinak.
Yeah, away.
Yachtinak.
Yachtinak.
Nak.
Yachtinak. So this will be nak all the way down. Okay, yachte. And this is your pattern for now. So yachte, then you're going to switch it to yachse, yachze, yachle, yachtle, yachche, and yachche, right? But that constant will be the only thing that changes from this point forward. But the thematic, you're going to have ya, or you're going to have, so we'll get to the others, but, to write it and all those others, you'll see them. Okay, we baited hooks.
Yautudinak.
Yautudinak. Yeah, yautudinak. Okay. This one is goes through the biggest change once you put a consonant into the classifier. So instead of going yiya, it's going to go yaide. Okay, I'll give you that one because it's different. But now you've got yaide, yaide, yaide. You know, kaishikit, you wrote it. Kaishikit, you wrote it. Okay. So you baited hooks.
Yo, Yidanak.
Close, but you're not gonna, instead of the W, it's gonna be a Y. So this is, the second person is kind of the one time that the perfective marker changes to a Y. And so that's why we write it as that Y with the 2 dots, because when it encounters this I after it, it stays a Y.
So yeah, Yidanak.
Yaidanak.
Yidanak.
Yaidanak. Right? Okay. Y'all baited hooks.
Yayidanak.
Yayidanak. Or Yayingdanak, if you're from Tesla. Okay. They, singular, baited hooks.
Yaudinak.
Yaudanak. Yeah, away. They baited hooks.
Asyaudanak.
Asyaudanak. Yeah, away. Now, you cannot do the people baited hooks.
Yaududzinak.
Well, it can't jump classifier groups, so it can't switch to an S. So we got to go right back to, so when we have -0, we had like people succeeded. Yauduwadlak. So now we got to get right back to that yaudua.
Yauduanak.
Yeah, away. Yauduwanak. Okay, Johan. So now that you've got this pattern, this is pattern number 2 with a thematic, right? So the first one was Yahwa, Yautua, Yiya, Yayi, right? So now it just changes a little bit because we have put a consonant into the classifier. And so, same thing, you've got these. These ones will be almost exactly the same. But what's going to happen is the shape, this goes from ya to tu. So that means this U does get preserved, right? But if we changed ya to tu, the prefix will all be the same. So instead of yachte, we should expect tochte. So feel free to pout after this lesson. I pouted. Or sulked, whatever.
Tochte us.
Tochte us. Yeah, away. This one is fun sounding. So, oh wait, we're not there yet. We pouted. We pouted.
To the us.
To the us. That one's fun. To, right? You get to right in there. To the us. Right? So that's kind of a fun combination, right? You pouted. So you are going to get T-U-Y-D-I. I. You're going to get that.
Toitaus.
Yeah, toitaus. That is a kind of unusual combination to have that U-Y, toitaus, because usually the U, we're so used to that U pushing something to a W, right? Like it just tends to do that with the perfective marker, right? But what we have here is the perfective plus the second person, which is I. So that means that sound must preserve so we can hear that you're the one who's doing it. Okay. Y'all pouted.
Ja, je de us.
To ye de us.
To ye de us.
So to ye, yep. Okay, good cheesh. They, singular, pouted.
To the us.
To the us. Okay. They pouted.
Yeah. Yes.
Hastaudeus.
Yeah, has to the us. People pouted.
To do us.
Yeah, to do a us. Yeah, okay. Kachwaak, way perfective dot, yeah. Kai khashatu. Akhuat to do a us. I use this one with my kids sometimes because I'll say like, I told you to do this, but you were just pouting or something like that. Okay. We doing okay?
I'm trying to write it down, but I can't.
I like that it's also a machine not running. Like the machine is pouting, right?
Yeah, right. Like it's signing. And wherever we end up with, folks, I will share the slides up to that point. So you don't have to write them all down, but certainly if it helps you write the patterns and stuff, but I will put this up there so you'll have it. And then I'll give you the whole thing once we're done, including a handout that really sort of breaks down this stuff and just shows you the examples. And but you go through it once and it's not like you'll get like parts of it, but there'll be certain ones that are just kind of tough. And there's certain combinations you don't use that often, even just speaking all the time. But this will be there so you can sort of dive back in and find it. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there, I was just because I was thinking that there might be something like a text where we can look at, I mean, just because I think I'm a little bit behind, I was just trying to figure out like a system of like, so I can keep up with you. Is there a text that I can read at a separate time that would help prepare for the following along, like the sentence, like the substituting object subject? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you recommend it?
Yeah. So we're for the object subject combinations, which we can do as well. That Hausanecha Yukatangi is supposed to do it in some of the later chapters, like the one that has verbs in there. And then if you go to tlingitlanguage.com, learning Tlingit and advanced Tlingit, and then you scroll down to, let me zoom in here. So like here's our classes, and then I'm gonna put all the handouts up there. And if we go down a little ways, here's the perfective chapter. So this chapter will talk about, it'll have some text that just explains like, here's what happens, here's what a perfective is, here's the mechanisms that put a perfective together, here's a whole bunch of examples using basically kind of every classifier combinations. And so I like to do is just like, here's what happens when you start changing the classifier group, right? And then it'll go through and I'll show you an example, right? And then there'll be a section where you have to predict what it's going to be. And we're doing that prediction part. We're doing the whole thing, that whole chapter, just as a slideshow. There is a chapter out there that has all the answers, but I'm not going to show it to you yet. So, but once we're done with this exercise, I'll give you the chapter with the whole answer key, so you can keep going through it. And I know some of you like to build like Quizlets and things, and those are really great. So go build those and then share them with us, and then we'll keep chatting, and you just got to keep practicing them, because and everybody absorbs the stuff in different ways too, in terms of like what are the mechanics going on in there. But that's the chapter that sort of talks about what kinds of things are in there and then what happens. Sheesh.
In there, you have to open it.
So would oosh work with like a car not working, not running?
Yeah, I think like if your car won't start.
Okay.
Dude, yeah, clock, go. It's an old car won't go.
How about Zoom?
Yeah, yeah, it could be Zoom, or like your laptop, right? Just won't start, won't do what you want. You could blame it on the thing pouting. That sounds like a good move. Okay, so this one's gonna have you in front of it. Both of these will have objects. They're both gonna be S classifiers. So when we look at those in combination, we go down to third person, we should expect a kause and hus a kause. Or we wanna have a kause and a yause, right? So what's gonna happen, we gotta look at that thematic prefix and make sure we're catching it. These are the two most common thematic prefixes. This one is like a vertical surface. This one's a horizontal surface, okay? These are both open. These are both non-zeros. So they should both be long and low. So open, again, means it ends with a vowel. So if it ends with a vowel, all the zero types, so this is when we learn to read a theme, this is why this information is put in there. All those zeros that are open will be long and high. Everything else will be long and low. So we should expect ka and nay. So even if you're guessing, keep your tone long and low. Just go for it. So, and again, so this is the difference between ye yawaka and ye ayausika. Is the object is who was being told the thing. So the ye yawaka verb is to say a certain thing. You're gonna quote somebody. Then he's ye yawaka. Wuhuku as chakeuchituk. He said that dried trees just explode. That's what he said, right? So, but then when we say yausaka, said it to somebody, right? Yechat yausaka, that's what he said to me. Okay. So, but in this case, so I say that because I'm going to give you these examples, and I'll say, I said it to them, singular them.
You yakhseka.
Yeah, well. So this is why you say, Ach tuwasagu, yi yakhseka yi gunachish. So you gotta keep that ye, or in this case it's gonna, yeah. Ach tuwasagu, ye yi yakhseka yi. So ye yi yakhseka yi. Because I do hear people say, Ach tuwasagu gunachish. And I know what they're saying, but it's missing a little component. Okay.
Could you say that again? That sounded important, but I really didn't quite get it.
Yes, yes. So let me put it in the chat. Okay. So
okay, good.
wa segu. So this is how you'd say, I want to say thank you to all of you. Ach tuas Wooneiyí yauchsakayi gunalchish. So there are a couple parts. So one is like, so I want to verb. I want a verb. So then you're going to verby, right? That's just kind of how we start thinking about it. Yeah. The other thing is the yay, you thing still applies here, which is kind of fun. So it's written as you in the theme. But here's just one more thing that eventually you should remember. If you say the thing right away, followed by the verb, we should be seeing you, right? So I could say, for example, Gunalchish, yuchat yausaka. She said thank you to me. But if we put what was said at the end or somewhere else, it switches to ye. Yechat yausaka. Gunalchish. Same thing with the duasak one. Xunaix, yuchat duasak. Yechat duasak Xunaix. It's like one more funky little thing. If you want to remember, nothing bad's going to happen if you don't remember that one. But, okay.
You know, Xunaix, I think Susie says, Susie, ye chat do a sock. And Jimmy says, Jimmy. I just know that because I hear them 10 times a day.
Yeah.
So
it's super interchangeable. That's one where I think you're going to hear that both ways. And so this is probably going to be one of those things where it's like, here's the kind of rule, but I think it's one of those ones that it's just gotten a little slippery over the years. And that could, because same with, yeah.
These videos are 50 years ago, eh? Yeah.
Right? I mean, those are like fully super highly fluent speakers. So it's not, that one's not a right or wrong thing, but it's just sort of like, if you see it switching, that's, you know, and who knows, right? Tlingit has like so many rules. There's so many rules. It's so like, okay. We said it to them.
You yatusaka.
You yautusaka. Okay, you yautusaka. So yautusa, yautude, right? Kautusha. Okay. You said it to them. A singular them.
You yaisaka.
You yaisaka. Yeah, away. Y'all said it to them.
You yaisaka.
You yaisaka. Right? Okay. Okay. They said it to them. Singular, yeah. It's a singular they, singular them.
You yausika.
Well, we gotta get that right at the front of the verb.
Oh.
But yeah, that was absolutely right. You yausaka, right?
You yausika.
Right. So that's where we note this object, third person, it's just got to pop up. That 3 on 3, and then you get the right? Otherwise, we can't know there's 2 things in there sometimes. You ayaw. Okay. They, let's just say they plural, said it to them, singular or plural.
You has ayaw sika.
Yeah, well. And this one, since that ends with a vowel, it would be very common to hear yusayausaka. And this just grabs onto the S. They just run together. But yuhasayausaka, that's not a right or wrong thing at all. It's just, you'll hear it. Okay. Now, you cannot do se. So people, it was said to them.
Yo dutzika.
You yo dutzika. Right, keep it low. Yeah, away. You yo dutzika. Yak a, yak a. So if you change all these ya to ka, you don't need the u in the front of it. Now you got the prefix for the next one. Okay, the last set. And so this also has the object, right? So this tells you whether there's an it there, like a cozy, or maybe a scarf or a blanket. I knitted, and this would also be to, this would be weaving, like chokat weaving. Weaving with any kind of yarns, not barks. This would also be to make or mend a net. So I made the net, or I mended it, because the sea lion came and busted right through my net, right? In this case, we'll just say how about I wove it? Because I don't like to say knitted. I'll say knitted it. I wove it.
Kauksane.
Yeah, kauksane. We wove it.
Kautusane.
Yeah, you wove it.
Kaisane.
Yeah, y'all wove it.
Kayisane.
Yeah, kayisane. They, singular, wove it. So you gotta have the in front of it.
Yausine.
Akausane. Akausane. Yeah, they wove it, plural. Let's put a has on it.
Has akausane.
Yeah, it was woven.
Kaduneek.
Yeah, Kaduneek. Gonna cheesh to cut you on. So we're gonna do the z, then tle, then gle, then sh and j will be on the same slide. And that's it. That's all of the perfectives. We're almost done with all of these examples. I will release the entire chapter. I'll put an updated slideshow up to this point. Then we're going to do the exact same thing with futures and using all these same verbs. Then after that, we're going to do, we'll do futures positive and negative, because that's the difference there is very easy. But then after that, we'll do negative perfectives. And then we'll see where we are after that, because we also have the yesh kakan, and then we have some just sentences we're going to keep coming up with and things we're going to keep doing. Let's see. Do you guys have anything to work on over the weekend? Okay, just keep doing your translation work, because we're going to start going through that Origin of Copper story. But you guys probably have enough to do. Just keep doing what you're doing. We'll also start going over some live translation work in class, just to see where we're at in terms of writing it down, what we hear, and then translating it. So we're going to start incorporating that as well. Okay, Yuhan. You go one. Ya yi Daak, ya yagi.
Ďakujem.
Yek echa. Yek cheesh.